performance. Thoroughly unforgettable performance.
You're looking like a 2-week-old haggis.
House chores.
Well, maybe it's time for a little fun.
I could use some fun.
So, what are you gonna do about it, lad?
Well, maybe if I hurry. Yeah. I can finish this later.
The Scotties Tournament of Hearts is at the Meridian Center in St. Catharines, February 18th to 26th. Come for the fun and live it live.
Thoroughly unforgettable performance. Thoroughly unforgettable performance. Thoroughly unforgettable performance. Thoroughly unforgettable performance.
The Ontario Curling Association, its board of directors, and over 193 member clubs, as well as 50,000 curling members, would like to acknowledge and thank the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sport for their recognition of the sport of curling, as well as its long history of past champions. The Ministry is supporting the Ontario 150 Celebration of Champions in Cobourg this week. This celebration acknowledges the sport of curling in Ontario and Canada for over 150 years. From Olympic gold medalists to 4-time world and Canadian champions, Ontario has a history of producing winners who showcase their talents to Ontario, to Canada, and the rest of the world. Please enjoy the streaming this week from Cobourg, Ontario, and do not miss our Parade of Champions, February the 2nd at 7 p.m., followed by the free streaming of the Glenn Howard versus John Epping game.
Cobourg, Ontario, this year's site for the ladies' 2017 Ontario Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by the Ontario Curling Association. It's another glorious day here in Cobourg as Day 3, Draw 3 for these ladies is set to begin. My name is Ian Tetley and I am joined by my co-host Rebecca Wickesher and our on-ice reporter Jason Chang. Together we will bring you all the curling action for the next 5 days. All of this brought to you live by Title Sports Live. Well, Rebecca, this morning we have our third ladies draw on this Day 3, this Wednesday morning, and we've got Rachel Homan up against Julie Tippin, both teams at 1-1. What are your expectations going into this draw?
Absolutely, as you said, both teams 1-1, so looking to move up to their second win here. Both teams have been playing pretty well. They both lost a close game in their last draw. Team Homan losing to Team Harrison very close, and Julie Tippin missing her last shot in an extra end against Megan Balsden. So both of them been playing really well and lost a couple heartbreakers in their last draw. So I expect that they're going to come out here pretty hungry, and we might get to see some more rocks in play.
I definitely think that both these teams are going to want to rebound after the last day losses. Obviously, Rachel Homan, currently World Curling Tour Order of Merit #1 in the world. Like this team is a very strong, talented team. They are right from Lisa Weigel at lead, Joanne Courtney, Emma Miskew, and Rachel Homan at skip. They seem to have a shot arsenal second to none. Then Julie Tippin, World Order of Merit team number 22, right from young Tess Bobby at lead, Rochelle Vink, Chantel Duhame, and Julie Tippin. Strong team. They're out to prove themselves right now.
They sure are. They've made it into a slam so far this season and had a pretty good run to move up to that 22nd position, and they're playing very good so far here at the Scotties. So as we said, should be an exciting match here on Sheet C. We've only got 3 other games going on. We're going to throw it down to our on-ice reporter, Jason Chang, to give us an update.
Good morning, Ian, Rebecca. Thanks very much. It's a beautiful day here at Cobourg, Ontario. We're in ice level at the Cobourg Community Centre for day number 4 of the Recharge with Milk Ontario Tankard and the Ontario Scotties Tournament of Arts. I'm going to be here on ice level all show, all day and all week, keeping the fans up to date with all the action and the inside scoop from all the teams and the audience. Let's take a look at who's playing out on Sheet A. Sheet A, we've got a men's game going on. Two winless teams. Corey Hegestead against Mike Harris. Both teams realistically needing a win today to keep their playoff hopes alive. And on Sheet B, we have Wayne Tuck. Wayne Tuck is 1-3. Greg Balsden is his opponent, sitting at a 2-2 record. As you mentioned, you guys will be covering the feature sheet. That's Homan and Tippin, both teams at 1-1. And finally, on Sheet D, it's Sherry Madaw, 1-1 against Allison Flaxey, 2-0, the only 2-0 team left in the women's field. The cream's starting to rise to the top on the men's side. Big wins last night from Glenn Howard and John Epping. They're perfect at 5-0. They've got the bye this morning. Join us later in the show. From the ice to your device, we'll have all the updates. Back to the booth to Rebecca and Ian.
Well, thank you, Jason. This is going to be a great game. Obviously, with Julie Tippin and Rachel Homan here, fully expect to see lots of rocks in play. Rebecca, it may come down to sort of the front end players here, because Tess Bobby seemed to struggle in her last outing out on this Sheet C. But Lisa Weigel, you can't say enough about this young lady. You know, she's sort of invented the Weigel tick, that sort of, you know, that Rachel likes to utilize when she's got the hammer. Rather than the team throwing up the center guard, she likes to try to tick it over and create 2 corner guards and try to create her offense that way, and always having an open draw to the button.
Absolutely. She really owns that lead position, made it her own. Got to be one of the best in the world at those shots. So as you said, I think that's a good point coming down to the front end. It's really going to be up to them on Team Tippin to set those ends up well for Chantel and Julie to give them a chance in the later ends coming up against Emma and Rachel. Again, one of the strongest back ends in ladies curling.
No, but we can't underestimate Julie Tippin. Obviously, she's a former Ontario Provincial Junior Champion, both back in 1999, 2000, and 2002. So she brings a lot to the table. She's a previous Canadian mixed champion. So, you know what? She's been in the fray before and not scared to make the shots. She had an unfortunate miss yesterday against Megan Balsden in the extra end, where she had to make a tough draw to get her point to win the game. But I'm thinking she's going to be looking forward to try to respawn to here this morning. So.
Oh, absolutely. They're still a very strong team, and if they come out here with a good game against Rachel, it is anybody's game. That's one of the great things about the sport of curling. Anybody can beat anybody else on any given day, so looking to see some great shots made here from both teams.
Well, and as the board shows us right now, that Rachel obviously put her opening draw in the draw to the button contest right on the pin, because Julie Tippin was like right next to the pin, and
Yes.
and Rachel's got the hammer here going into the first end. So I think I fully expect Julie to play rather conservative coming out of the gate, hoping not to get blown out of this thing really early. And I think Rachel will probably try to take it to her pretty early.
Absolutely. Team Homan, one of the best teams out there at defending a lead. If you get down to them early, it's so difficult to come back. So as you said, I expect Julie's team to be pretty defensive here to start, try and keep themselves in a close game here all the way to the 10th end.
100%. But at the same token, I think as we've noticed in other games on this sheet, early in like the first end, I think, what is it now? Twice we've seen 3 enders in the first end.
We
and
have.
Then it sort of came out of nowhere, and it just happened to be some opportune misses. So it'd be interesting to see what's happened with this sheet, see if the ice makers worked on this one overnight, because we've had one side of the sheet that has been predominantly straight, has been only curling about 2.5 feet, and then the other side of the sheet, it's been curling 4 to 4.5 feet. The speed has been absolutely excellent, about 14.5 seconds between hog lines. So here we go. We've got Tess Bobby going to lead us away for Team Julie Tippin.
Team Tippin throwing the blue rocks. Talked a little bit about the yellow rocks. We're not 100% sure up here if that's a great set or not, so we'll see how Team Homan manages with those rocks.
And sometimes that can be an equalizer in games, but well, unfortunate hog stone for the first one for Tess, so that's not an auspicious start for her.
Yes.
It's going to give Rachel an opportunity with Lisa Weigel to throw up the corner guard in the with her opening stone. The Tippin team that plays out of the Woodstock Curling Club, and the Rachel Homan team, I believe, playing out of the Ottawa Curling Club.
Lots of room. Looks there. 6, 7. Off. Let it curl.
Longtime members there at the Ottawa Curling Club.
Gotta finish that, guys. Hard. Get it over as far as you can. Hard.
Both teams are carrying coaches with them this week. The Julie Tippin team having Barry Westman alongside with them, and then Rachel Homan's team having Adam Kingsbury with them. So, not every team here has got a coach. A lot of times, like back in my day, my skip was my coach.
Yeah, yes.
If I missed, I heard it from him.
That's the way most of them like it, I think. It seems like it's a bit more common out here on the women's side that they bring a coach. A lot of the men's teams don't have one with them, or sometimes they just bring a fifth player who kind of acts as a coach as well, because they can only bring one person out for a timeout. So seeing a bit more variation in what teams do now.
Definitely, unfortunately, Tess Bobby slipped into the rings here. It's going to give Lisa Weigel the opportunity to play a little tiny hit and flop back in behind the corner guard she threw previously.
Maybe trying to roll to another corner now. It's running really straight.
Well, she kind of popped that one a little bit, and I'm not sure. Our leads don't throw a lot of hits, I think.
Yes.
You kind of get into that mode where you're just throwing guard after guard and draw after draw. So Julie's called for Rochelle Vink to throw this one in the top 4 foot. She's going to try and hope for a miss, I'm assuming, and try to keep the play fairly conservative. Rochelle, obviously a 3-time Canadian Women's Collegiate winner, playing for Fanshawe. Oh, there we go. Look at this. We've got 2 center guards in the first end of the ladies' game. I love it. And Rachel wasting no time, going right to the offense here again, getting Joanne Courtney to
try to sink one around the corner guard. Joanne, obviously a late addition to this team. She joined in 2014 for the 2014-15 curling season. Ended up going to the obviously the Scott Tournament of Hearts Canadian Championship based on the Homan victory in 2014. And that's an uncharacteristic miss.
I think she was a little tight out of her hand. They kind of swept it early, but just ticked that corner guard.
And now we got Julie's going to go right on the offense as well. Just get Rochelle Vink to throw the in-turn draw. Hopefully sink that right around the center guard.
Line's good. Room. Room. Just line. Room. Back.
Got to get out my trusty stopwatch here so we
Yes.
can figure out where these rocks are going.
That one slipped just behind the tee line.
Put over curls, okay?
Dead buried though, so they're going to try this run back.
Yeah, Rachel's not going to take any chances, any unnecessary chances here. She'll run this back. She hits it on the nose, makes this straight back. That'd be perfect. If she over curls a smidge, she'll get the other one.
Yep.
Wow.
Very nice.
Right on the nose. Sticks it. What a great shot by Joanne Courtney.
Like you guys dragged it out, but I expected that with that much weight.
Julie Tippin's just going to get Chantel Duhame here to try to follow it down and freeze right on it and hopefully create a steal opportunity.
But I don't think we need to throw an in out because it'll spin out. Way wider path. There it goes.
370 backline to Hogg. Should be lots of weight, but I think she got it a little wide out, sort of off the path that Rochelle had thrown previously.
What do you like to say, Ian? She got it out in the marbles?
That situation, I think it's just a way wider path.
Back like 2 inches.
To me, the marbles is more when we get a lot of footprints down one side of the sheet when you're playing. If you played one side of the sheet so much and then you've got to go to the other side, it's kind of like where everybody's walked and the footpath. I think the equivalent to me is kind of like the NASCAR racing or the IndyCar racing, where they drive down a certain path and that's all clear, but all the stuff, all the rubber from their tires sort of flings off and goes out to the outside. Same sort of thing, same sort of thing here in curling. Emma Miskew here trying to play a little hit and roll inside here. Oh, perfect shot.
Very nice.
Well, right away we see the strength of the Homan team taking it to Julie Tippin's team. And Julie's kind of got two options here. She can actually try to make an out-turn freeze or even an out-turn tap on this rock. Or she could sort of walk up and run her own guard back and try to kill one of the Homan stones.
80.
Well, I heard the front end saying 380 for the draw. And I got about 350, so she might be a little firm.
Room. No. Room. Yep. No line. Yep. No line. Hard. No line. Hard. Go. Hard.
Wow, that's
I can't throw those rocks like that.
Really put the brakes on.
You like him?
Heard Chantel say there she doesn't like that pair.
Split that?
well. Both teams come out for their 7-minute practice, and each one of them has one side of the sheet sort of allocated to them. So what normally happens is everybody keeps throwing the one sort of path, is sort of the draw to the button path, more so on the way towards the home end versus going away. And she just may have got caught in a fresh path going away, and it's just not broken in on that side of the sheet. So
If it's heavy, just let
I'm
me
just
know.
not. I'm not positive that she's. You know, we got her back line to hog split at 350. I just think that she got caught in a fresher path. Rachel's going to try and get Emma Miskew here to thread the needle here and get a third stone in there.
This is where we saw them run a little bit straight if you have any extra weight.
She might get a little lucky split on this. Maybe our overhead camera can kind of tell us whether that's in the rings.
Well, it did, I think. Like, if I tapped on the nose, it would tap T-lines. It was back 4. It just went straight.
There it is. There it is on the
It is indeed
rings.
biting. Well, see, the only thing wrong with that shot for Emma is that even though she tapped in the rings, which sort of goal number 1 is that you want your third rock in the rings, it gives Julie an opening here to make a hit and roll. She could make a double, either or, that now cuts the end down, because we've got so many guards out front that that if she makes this hit and roll perfectly, I'm not sure that Rachel would be able to get her out.
Rachel, if you can. You're rolling, Tess. Roll it.
Well, that might have been her only opportunity to get in there. And now because I fully expect Rachel now to throw the exact same hit. And she rolls inside, and Julie Tippin's only going to have one shot option available to her, which is going to be that out turn wide side, either tap or run back.
Yeah. Needed to
Otherwise,
get
we
that
may-
shooter in.
Otherwise, we may see a big opening score of 4 points here if Rachel makes this hit and roll perfectly.
Well, hers backed up, so I think it's going to back up. I don't know, doesn't think it's going to. If it does back up, roll it out. But nose isn't bad because that in-off is like super thin. It's really high now. I'd rather just like roll in an inch than roll out an inch.
Good explanation there from Rachel, where she wants this stone.
Rachel has just got terrible. Her technical mechanics for delivery are just so good. They're trying to get a roll in here, and she does just that. If she rolls all the way over there, she cuts down even more angles.
That was a really nice shot. Getting a good view at that whole delivery.
She gets right down, right in behind the rock. Really good extension. Obviously, she's got, there's 2 rotations, almost like 2.5 rotations for a hit, which is a lot of rotation. Emma Miskew sweeping that right into position, so that makes this tap even tougher for Julie Tippin, because she's almost trying to tap this. If she can tap, freeze it on shot rock, and if she could get second shot stone, she'd be absolutely elated. Mm-hmm. Really close here, really close. Oh.
It's a nice shot.
What a great attempt.
Here it is coming in again. Almost lost it there for a second. They got a little nervous.
If they leave it another smidge longer.
She maybe could have got shot rock.
Yeah, she wouldn't have touched the second shot stone first. There's still a hole here. Just the hole is just over a rock wide, and Rachel's going to try and navigate this port and get by and remove the tip and stone and get 4 points.
Get by that and jam it.
Okay, then yeah, I'd like more.
Half?
Interesting that you can tell from this side of the sheet already that the ice makers have worked really hard on this overnight, and we're starting to see some movement again on this outturned path. So everybody's being caught off guard a little bit because that thing seemed to sort of kick off a hill a little bit.
It did, yeah, getting, as you said, a little bit more curl than what we've seen.
It's good. Yep. Whoa, whoa. Off. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard, Joe. Off. Woo, woo. Off. Get off.
She's really
Yes,
close.
hard. Hard, Joe. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Really close.
What
and she
a
gets
great
it by
shot
that
by
back
Rachel
one.
Homan. And she's going to get a huge 4-point lead here on Julie Tippin after one end of play. Rachel Homan 4, Julie Tippin 0. And now a word from our sponsors.
It's like 1 point, it's like, oh my God, no.
The Ontario Curling Association, its board of directors, and over 193 member clubs, as well as 50,000 curling members, would like to acknowledge and thank the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sport for their recognition of the sport of curling, as well as its long history of past champions. The Ministry is supporting the Ontario 150 Celebration of Champions in Cobourg this week. This celebration acknowledges the sport of curling in Ontario and Canada for over 150 years. From Olympic gold medalists to 4-time world and Canadian champions, Ontario has a history of producing winners who showcase their talents to Ontario, to Canada, and the rest of the world. Please enjoy the streaming this week from Cobourg, Ontario, and do not miss our Parade of Champions, February the 2nd at 7 p.m., followed by the free streaming of the Glenn Howard versus John Epping game. Well, here we are back in Cobourg, Ontario for this ladies 2017 Scotties Tournament of Hearts. And after one end of play, we just saw 2 great shots by Rachel Homan. Her first shot in the first end makes the big hit and roll inside. Julie Tippin responds with a really nice tap. But once again, Rachel Homan outbested her and
Absolutely.
threaded the needle and got the 4-point first end.
That's why she's #1 in the world. Those shots are what we expect to see from Rachel, and great job there in the first end.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how Julie Tippin, sort of their team, how they respond after that. You know, initially you're a little bit shell-shocked dropping 4. You're going, oh my God, okay, is the game over? Like, or what are we going to do? So I think they just have to be patient here, get corner guards in play, and just try to take advantage of your opportunities. Try to get it 2 points back here. Hopefully force them to 1, get another 2 back, and all of a sudden you're back in the game.
Absolutely.
So Rachel got Lisa Weigel. They'll throw her first one, ended up in the back of the forefoot. Tess Bobby ends up throwing the corner guard, and now we've got Lisa Weigel once again trying to throw one back into the top forefoot.
It's a corner guard. You got to go, both of you.
Well, Rachel's not going to be happy with that after having 4 in the first end and Lisa throwing it short of the rings. That's sort of the last place she would like to see it.
Yes, Lisa's first one slipped behind the tee line. So a bit of an opportunity here for Team Tippin.
Well, I think this gives Tess Bobby the opportunity to come down and freeze on that rock in the back of the forefoot, and all of a sudden just start to slowly create their offense. This is really starting to go sideways.
They just have to do a straight draw at this point. Even going to come out the other side of that guard.
Nice work for the ice crews here last night and today preparing the sheet.
We've got a lot of great movement going on here. The weight seems to be absolutely perfect, so this is going to make for a really interesting rest of the week.
Absolutely great conditions out there right now.
We've got our crew giving us split screens. We've got it all here today, Rebecca.
We're spoiled.
Yes. Oh, really close here. Now that is
Real
definitely
nice.
one of the huge strengths of this Homan team. They can throw it very hard and very accurate. Definitely tops in the ladies loop with respect to throwing the rock really hard and really accurate. So when you throw it really hard and really accurate, basically in curling, it cuts down the need to take any ice because there's going to be no curl whatsoever. They're just going sort of straight down the sheet. They've got all has nice clean releases, and it really makes those run backs quite simple. Mind you, they make them look pretty simple.
They do. But this team probably worked harder on those releases than almost any other team in the world. They really perfected that release, as you said, being able to take almost no ice.
Well, the only benefit to Julie Tippin here is that the Homan rocks are behind the tee line, so it's going to create some great opportunities for her. Right now, Rachel's going to be defending here, just trying to throw, slash after slash to get rid of the Tippin rocks. But if they can secure one behind one of these corner guards or the guards, or even freeze, there might be an opportunity where the Rachel's team cannot get it out. Right here, Joanne Courtney, if she can try and slash the blue Tippin rock out, she would hopefully try to clip her own rock to get rid of it because they don't want it back there.
Other way. Other way. Low, I guess.
Johan
Try and roll it behind our
sliding
guard,
a little bit tight.
Well, there's our first little miscue, and not Emma.
Yes.
So that was sort of a plan B shot because she obviously must have got tight on the release. She ends up jamming it. So this is good for Julie because now Julie can freeze on the rock on the button and hopefully secure her shot rock here and maybe have a shot later on in the end to get extra points. Those little sniveler biters seem to come back to haunt you at times. Michelle's freeze looks really close here.
Yeah, all the way line, all the way
Might be curling off a little bit, but if they can get to it and tap it.
Wow.
Wow. The light's okay. I think they just think your horse froze a little more. Right to it.
Go to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, she didn't get shot rock out of that, but Rachel's going to get Emma Miskey to try to come down and freeze. They are going all out here on the offense.
I guess sometimes the best defense is the best offense, Ian. They talked about peeling that guard, but that almost puts Tippin in a better position to utilize her bluestone, so they're going to try and defend that by freezing.
Yeah, and Emma is looking a little heavy here, and that's I'd venture to say that's ugly. I think.
Yeah, that's not what she was looking for.
So Julie's sort of indicated for a hit here, and actually, I guess in theory the triple takeout is probably there. If she can make the triple, all of a sudden she's laying three with one around a center guard. So she'd be actually in a really good position to score not only two, possibly three. Because if she made the triple, she's probably going to leave a pretty easy double for Rachel. And they might be going for plan B here, try to hit and roll inside. which they do, which is
Not a bad plan B.
Girls, like half an inch, Daisy Peel. Okay.
Well, if Emma misses this just slightly wrong, it could be ugly, but she's going to play that straight back, try and make the double.
It's really close.
Yep.
Whoa!
Hard.
Woo! Woo!
Nice throw him.
Not bad.
Look at, no, that is actually a great shot. You know, she's in great position. Julie Tippin's in tough here now because
Oh, that way.
even though she's shot rock, watch this. You can see when she releases it, she kind of gives a little pop with her wrist there. You know, that puts the extra handle on it. Fortunately, there wasn't any side-to-side motion on it, and so that releases straight back, and she just misses making the double takeout. But even though she's not shot rock, she's in really good position. So great shot by Emma. Chantel's going to try to come down here, and if she just can even just touch the yellow over,
Go ahead. Yep,
the corner freeze to it.
Around. Yep, hard.
Even if she can get around it and still be second shot, it's not awful.
Hard.
The only thing you don't want to do is touch it and flop over and give her an easy double.
Hard.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's... you're going to see the strength of Rachel Homan here now.
Peel.
They throw the hard peels so straight. The only thing where Rachel has a tendency to do on her out turn is that she sometimes has just a slight back motion on it. And if she sort of touches this thing back a bit, I do not expect it to curl. And the last thing she wants to do is just nose it. She's going to try and make the double takeout here and obviously kill this end for Julie Tippin.
Well, yep. Whoa.
Oh.
Yep. Hard. Hard, Joe.
Hard.
Great
Great
Hard,
shot.
guys.
Good.
Yeah.
Didn't quite remove it, but she's still
That's
sitting
great.
too.
You know what? That's Rachel's come out this morning with a little fire in her breath here.
Absolutely.
She's got a huge jump in her step, and then she's just rifling these things right now. And it's going to be really tough for Julie Tippin's team to respond.
There's that great shot again. Really well done.
So the only option available here to Julie here now is that it's almost actually you have to draw back at a forefoot, hopefully being shot rock. Try to get a piece around that. She could possibly corner freeze it and still be shot, and I don't think that that Rachel would be able to get it out. They want to make sure that they're shot rock if they can. It's one of those things where they had to make a decision earlier on that. They were either going just by it or they were trying to corner freeze, and they sort of got caught in the middle of them
They
both.
did, yeah.
You know, that's the toughest part about being a sweeper is that, you know, you've got to make a decision one way or the other. And when you get caught in the middle like that, it usually ends up working against you.
Exactly. They kind of hedged the wrong bet there. They thought it was a little light for the come around, so they got off it, and it wasn't actually light. So that's a tough one.
Well, first order business here for Rachel is you make the blue go away. And then you force Julie to draw for her single point. You know, She might be trying to get cute here. I don't know. And because if she can nose that stone, it's going to make scoring really tough for Julie.
Whereas when I was splitting center, it really went. So I want to make sure I'm not.
Because the rock is what, just over buried, Rebecca?
I want to take my own out to side.
Might be pretty much edge on edge. She's got almost all of that.
Yep. Really hard. Whoa. Up.
Some nice movement in there. She's got...
It's a good shot.
Yeah, she had solid hit weight there though too, and that still moved in there nicely.
It did curl up a bit. Rolled her shooter to a spot where Julie can still nose this rock and be shot, so she doesn't have to draw.
Yeah, this should be a fairly routine open hit for Julie here. She's gonna... It's a game changer if you miss this, because it you'd really dig yourself a hole. So she's going to have to nose hit this, take her single point, move on to the third end, and hopefully start getting into sort of a double center guard situation. And hopefully they can just try to slowly claw their way back into the game.
Trying to hold it. Nicely done.
Great job by Julie Tippin to score her single point. And after 2 ends of play, we've got Rachel Homan 4, Julie Tippin 1. And now we're going to go to our message on the Parade of Champions.
The Ontario Curling Association, its board of directors, and over 193 member clubs, as well as 50,000 curling members, would like to acknowledge and thank the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sport for their recognition of the sport of curling, as well as its long history of past champions. The Ministry is supporting the Ontario 150 Celebration of Champions in Cobourg this week. This celebration acknowledges the sport of curling in Ontario and Canada for over 150 years. From Olympic gold medalists to 4-time world and Canadian champions, Ontario has a history of producing winners who showcase their talents to Ontario, to Canada, and the rest of the world. Please enjoy the streaming this week from Cobourg, Ontario, and do not miss our Parade of Champions, February the 2nd at 7 p.m., followed by the free streaming of the Glenn Howard versus John Epping game. Welcome back to Cobourg, Ontario, everybody. And thank you for tuning in here and watching the live streaming here on Title Sports Live. We're very appreciative of you tuning in. It's great to have some viewers taking in this great match between Rachel Homan and Julie Tippin. Obviously, big point for Julie Tippin there against 3 Homan rocks. Obviously, she's going to have to try to claw her way back into this match, Rebecca. She's going to have to probably throw the double center guards here with test Bobby's shots here. We might even see the Lisa Weagle go to work here.
We might. You're exactly right. Rachel's quite happy with that end, forcing Team Tippin to a single point. She's got the hammer back now here in 3, and she's up 3 points. So she's quite happy. That rock not quite curling to the center line, so she's just going to use it kind of as a corner guard and draw around.
Yeah, I think for Rachel, anytime she's got the forefoot pretty well fully exposed, I think she feels comfortable that she can not only hit well, that she can draw well. She's got one of the best sweeping teams in the women's game, so you know she feels very comfortable that draw weight's in her back pocket. My hats are off to the ice crew here that have done a great job working on this sheet. You know, this whole right-hand side of the sheet on the outturn side was really straight the first couple of days. Now we're starting to see some really nice movement here. So nice work to Darren Sinclair and Scott Muir and their crew.
Absolutely. Great job, guys. It's looking really nice out there.
So really important that Lisa Weigel, she gets her shot sort of half buried behind the sort of the corner guard. Kept it in front of the tee line, and now Tess Bobby's going to try to come around and freeze to that if she can.
This is a 13-1. You're full top 4, so it's a really nice spot. You can flop right on top here. It's pretty good.
Again, not quite where they wanted it. Would have liked it more on the face of that stone. Pretty easy for Lisa to remove it now.
Well, the fact that she didn't even get any piece of it frozen here is going to give Lisa Weigel the opportunity here to make the little chap and flop inside and lay 2 sort of either fully buried or half buried.
Very nice.
Perfectly done.
Here's a great look at Lisa's delivery.
Really easy, compact delivery. No extra motion. Very clean release. Nice work by our crew bringing that to us. Courtney and Emma just making sure that they're looking up at the skip, get direction here. Sometimes it gets a little loud with some of the other sheets, and so you've got to look at hand motions or hand gestures as to what the skip wants. Michelle Vink here going to try and come around and make a little tap. Wow, her rock's really curling off, eh? So the other thing that usually happens on Wednesday mornings at National Championship here is that the ice crew they give the rocks what they call a little rub. And so they essentially take sandpaper to them and give them a little extra texture to them, so the rocks will definitely move a tiny bit more. Ooh. Rachel Courtney just feather ticking that center guard. She won't be thrilled with that attempt. This is going to give Julie Tippin an opportunity to come down and freeze, maybe even freeze tap, and she won't be shot rock, but she'll be in really good position. Indicating that she wants a back 12 tap.
This one not curling at all. There it goes now. Pretty late finish. Just a little bit heavy.
Yeah, the one thing they can't do, especially when you're down points, is you can't overthrow any draws or any taps. If you're going to err, you almost have to err light. Because what you do need is you need rocks in play. Because more rocks in play helps you create angles. And right now they're just not doing that. They're kind of missing the wrong way. You can't be missing heavy all the time. Like if she was short there, I'm not sure what Rachel would really do with it. But when you're heavy, it kind of makes Rachel's job a heck of a lot easier. Joanne Courtney here, 27-year-old from Edmonton. Sort of the late addition to the Homan team, but when I say late addition, that was 3 years ago.
Yes. Been doing really well this season. Got lots of Grand Slam titles under their belt.
5 Grand Slam victories for this Homan team.
I should have rolled it. It's close though, it's really good.
Very nicely done.
Coming straight into theirs.
I think the one goal that this team is really trying to stay focused on, as are most of the ladies teams that compete on the World Curling Tour, is that everybody wants the elusive Olympic trial spot. Everybody wants to go to Pyeongchang in 2018, and so everybody's been sort of mapping out their schedules and what have you to, in order to try to get there. The Jen Jones, the Valerie Sweetings, all these teams want to represent Canada in Pyeongchang.
They sure do.
Speed maintain. I got a little light out of your hand. It was a little light in the end.
And with the strength of this Homan team, obviously 2013 and 2014 Canadian champions. They were bronze medalists in 2015. They were a bronze medalist in the Olympic trials in 2013, so they want nothing but gold.
Roll out a little, it's okay, but nose is great.
Emma Miskew, 27-year-old from Ottawa. Just going to try to hit this rock over here and lay three points. Actually, Julie's team has got the one rock in the rings, but it's not in a position where it can actually really help them right now.
Yep. Whoa. Great throw.
Another nice shot there from Emma.
No good spot. Shoot, well, I give her max ice. It's just all curl.
Looks like Julie's called for Chantel to throw the out turn head here. Try to catch half of the yellow Homan stone. Probably end up just jamming it on the other stone being behind it. But more importantly, rolling over and catching that third stone of...
Don't want to lose your blue.
Are they going to oversweep this or no?
Not sure if that was there.
Yeah. Well, the only benefit is that now she's at least got some angle with her own stone on the back stone. And obviously Rachel's going to have to navigate this. Right now she's actually calling for Emma to play a little hack weight hit it across the face of her own and flop over to the open side. Only problem with her doing that is that it's going to expose the back Homan stone that is shot rock around the corner guard, and Julie Tippin's going to be able to freeze to that.
Don't need to ever. Just extra weight too.
Yeah, I think she kind of overthrew this a bit. But that's what we call a pro side miss, rather than throwing it light and jamming it.
Tight, so when I straightened it, I added weight by accident.
Good shot there, giving you a shot down the sheet with what Julie's going to be looking at from the hack. Looks like she's got about 4 feet of ice that she's going to try to make that perfect freeze on the Homan stone on the back of the 8-foot.
It's just control. Like he just rolled out.
Yeah.
Need to bank on extra weight there, but I think it's so straight. You don't need to there.
But from a Homan perspective, they'd be really happy with this situation. 1, the 4-foot is wide open. 2, she's trying to freeze to a rock in the back of the rings, which Rachel can come down and chap around and hopefully maintain an angle on it, possibly create a 3-point end.
Close.
Yeah, I think they should have been going hard on that at the end just to get that. One, you want to make sure it's frozen there. And secondly, it might have curled another inch or two and made it really difficult for Rachel to get it out of the rings.
Just easy peel?
Yeah.
Well, I think you just heard it there from Rachel. She's going to throw an easy peel weight shot at this. Hopefully knows it. I think she'd rather nose this stone and eliminate her own stone in the back of the 8-foot, making it a little bit more difficult for Julie Tippin. Julie would be probably forced to play a little, try to hit and flop in behind the corner guard, but she could only roll about a foot.
Lean. Close. Yep. Yep.
Whoa, whoa. Yep, yep.
It's good, Rach.
I think that's exactly what Rachel was trying to do. Eliminate her own stone, doesn't
Even right to the end.
create a pocket at the back of the rings. There's a perfect shot of her release. She comes out very straight release. Yes, she gets a little extra handle on that stone, but that's when the rocks have been freshly rubbed, that's one of the things you want to make sure you've got is that extra rotation. Otherwise, if you've got a soft release and you only have about 1.5 to 2 rotations on a hit, it's going to curl about 6 or 8 inches on you. And I think we saw from where Rachel had the broom, she was looking for about 2 inches of curl.
Certainly, they really know how to manage those releases.
Hair tighter.
Well, kudos to Julie here. She's going to try to step out here and try and freeze right on this stone, or this Homan stone.
Hard line. 14-6. Hard.
14-6, that's a lot less than her last one.
Never off, never off.
Really could try.
Just struggling to find the exact ice to make that freeze. I think she tightened up the broom a little bit, and difficult to tell how her release was, but they kind of seemed to sweep it from start to finish.
Do you want to go for nose or pick it?
I think that's pretty close at nose.
I think
or
this
even
is a
just
fairly
roll.
routine shot for Rachel. She's going to try to nose this stone and take both the blue and the yellow out, but stay for 2 points.
We're going to go for nose, but if it starts tracking with normal, then we'll just go hard. Trying for nose, but if it starts tracking, we'll just pick it. This shot is pretty straight. Straight through. Don't want to turn it.
So it's great listening into Rachel and her
Absolutely.
mindset on this. She might pump this up just a tiny bit. If it's tracking, she's just going to try and pick the blue rock out and score her 2 points that way. One thing you don't want to do is that she may get caught right in between those two shots where she actually slashes everything out and rolls out herself and only takes 1 point.
That's exactly it. That's the danger of having 2 shots in your mind.
Whoa.
Clean it.
Lean. Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa, clean.
Hard.
Yep.
Can't hurt it. Hard.
Clean. Great shot.
That's a perfect shot by Rachel Homan. So 2 more points on the board for Rachel Homan, and she's going to lead by a score of 6 points to 1 after 3 ends here at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts for Ontario.
Yeah, they're playing a great game here on Sheet C. Once more, we're going to go down to ice level with our on-ice reporter, Jason Chang. He's got an update for the other 3 games going on.
Thanks very much, Rebecca. We've got 3 other games on the way this morning on Sheet A. Mike Harris has just stolen one in the 3rd end. He leads Team Corey Higginstead by a score of 2-1. We've got a bunch of Wayne Tuck fans in the stands. Their game just scored a deuce, and it's 3-1 for Tuck. Ballston with the hammer there. And finally, on Sheet D, Sherry Madaw, after giving up a 3 in the 2nd end, has come back with a deuce of her own. She trails 3-2. Allison Flaxey has the lead and the hammer. That's the update from the ice to your device. Back up to the booth with Ian and Rebecca.
Well, thank you, Jason. Nice work, guys. So here we are. What are you going to do, Rebecca, when you're down 6 points to 1?
Oh, geez.
And hopefully not cry.
No, hopefully not. Again, as we said at the start of this game, Team Homan, one of the best in the world at defending this type of lead. So it's a really uphill battle to climb against any team, let alone Team Homan. So Team Tippin really going to have to try some new techniques, something different to try and generate some points against them.
Well, Rachel getting Lisa Weigel here to throw her rock in the top of the forefoot just to maintain control of that button area. She executes that perfectly. Julie's just going to throw up the corner guard here and obviously trying to get something going with Tess Bobby.
You can see it put its brakes on like right here. Don't want to let that stop. That's a good spot at least. Gotcha. Yep.
Tess Bobby, the 25-year-old that hails originally from Scarborough. And well done by Tess.
Nice shot.
Air on the side of 4, like, just in case.
Looks all there. Looks all there. Okay.
Yeah, I just leave it there.
Easy, guys. Nick just wanted you. Easy, easy.
So Rachel has this game this morning. She's got the bye this afternoon, and then she will take on Sherry Madaw tonight, which that will be a key game during the week. And I know everybody at TSL is going to do everything we can to try to help tune into that game.
Absolutely big matchup. As Jason said, Team Madaw is having a close game on sheet D against Team Flaxey. That's another big game for Madaw. Exciting day here on the women's side.
Yeah, interesting for Rachel. It's almost like right now, like she's got a little bit of a nemesis in Jacqueline Harrison's team. Jacqueline's beat them the last 3 times she's played them. So you know, it may bode well for some great theatrics towards the end of the week.
Certainly will. That's a great stat for Team Harrison's rink.
So Tess Bobby's got the 2 corner guards up perfectly here now, and now they're just waiting for hopefully get a little something from the Homan team. Maybe a miss from Joanne Courtney here. But no, she'll be mad that she missed that one last end, so
Yes.
she makes amends for it here.
Very nice.
Oh, no, it's a really good throw. Just didn't know if it would float or.
Yeah, I got the same.
Nice throws. I think it's just good. Just straight. We get the same measure.
Julie just can be very patient here, try to get up another corner guard, and they're just hoping they get a little something. I don't expect that Rachel's team is going to miss any of the corner peels, but then at some point she may go around the corner, or she may jiggle the center rocks, trying to create a bit of a pocket if she can.
Yeah.
Good job there by Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa. Lean.
Joanne Courtney. It's interesting. We've heard of a lot of players that actually go from, Ontario to other parts of Canada to play. We rarely see team members actually coming from like the West and coming to Ontario.
That's true. Yes.
She's one of the few. I think the only other person I've known that's come to Ontario has been Jonathan Mead, who played for Wayne Madaw for a couple of years. Mind you, Ryan Fry is kind of the rent-a-third.
Yes.
He went to play for Brad Gushu for a couple of years out in the Rock.
And obviously finding great success with the Brad Jacobs team in Sault Ste. Marie.
Sherry Madaw out here today. Her couple first appearances at the Scotties, I think, were from Saskatchewan.
Yes.
There's another one for you.
Yeah.
But you're right, it is a bit more common for curlers to go the other way.
Brent Lang, when he left the Team Howard, went out and obviously finding success with Team Cooey. Yeah, Rachel's not taking any chances here. I fully expect that Julie Tippin now will start trying to jiggle some rocks around or get one secured around the corner guard, try to take advantage of her corner guard. Chantel Duhame, 28-year-old, going to try and chap this rock around, try to create a pocket. Chantel, another collegiate champion for Canada, for Fanshawe.
Yeah, these girls had a great run together there.
This thing is really curling now. They might be able to best serve to try and get this buried around the corner guard. This thing, look at this thing, just go sideways. You know, this is where Julie Tippin's team might be showing a little bit of their inexperience on arena ice. You know, when rocks get freshly sort of rubbed or sanded, there's a real sharpness to them, and if you don't have a little bit of a pop release and or extra handle, they can curl upwards of 8 feet. I think Emma's a little tight here, and you're going to see her peel the guard. So there's a tiny little opening here for Julie Tippin. But her problem is that if she's going to make the double takeout, it's going to go directly into her stone. So this is one of those times where Julie's got to be fairly patient. She might have to sort of tap one of the rocks back and roll away, hopefully tap it far enough back that even if she's second and third shot stones.
I think I just threw it bad.
Like Chantel trying to make sure she's got a little bit more handle on this thing, but the problem is when sometimes you put a little bit more handle on it, you end up giving it a little bit more weight.
Yes, this one looks a little heavy.
Well, as long as she gets a little piece of it and stays in the rings. No, it's not bad. It's going to give Rachel an opportunity to play the hit and roll over on top of that stone and or even possibly make the double takeout. So every team's got their little routine. Obviously, Joanne Courtney getting a little low 5 from Rachel going by, cleaning the path all the way back just so there's no debris in the pathway.
It's real straight here, so it's hard to get on the side. Nose is okay. Yep. Should be able to back this up. Just careful.
I don't know what that one was.
Rachel probably going to throw this really high and hard.
Yep, just keep it there. Yep. Good.
It's a good shot by Rachel. You know, it's important for her to sort of hang around there to still be third shot.
Just want to roll and give her a shot. Thanks. I'll let it go.
She really threw a lot of weight on that one. Gonna get another look here at that delivery. She throws so much weight.
Great job by our crew on picking this up. Look at that perfect release.
She may have just popped it back a half an inch. They're just waiting on this, and then they just finish it up at the end. Now, Julie Tippin, if she can make a little soft double across the face here and sort of roll away, they'll keep her opportunity for possibly 2 alive. Flaxey picking up a single point on Sherry Mada in the 4th end to lead that game by 4 points to 2.
Yeah, she missed her blank attempt.
Unfortunate there by Julie. She had to really try to make that double. And Rachel's not going to take any chances. She's just going to eliminate this the Tippin stone at the back of the rings and say, fine, if I force you to 1. I kind of like the way the scoreboard's going. You know, I get 4, you get 1. I get 2, you get 1. Anytime a team jumps out to a 4-0 lead, it's just, you know, the rest of the team sort of, everybody kind of relaxes a little bit just to, you know, it's a little easier to get into a bit of a routine because you're not feeling the stress or the pressure of on your delivery or release. Everything's a little bit more relaxed and they can kind of get into a rhythm. It's unfortunately that Julie's got a tough time trying to make some shots here, trying to create scoring opportunities.
Yes, Team Homan not really leaving her any opportunities.
Julie's going to throw the intern hit here, just try to hit nose and stick for her single point. So this is the kind of shot that Niklas Edin from Sweden is that if he was in this situation, he would actually try to throw a really high, hard intern double and spin his shooter
Yes.
for the blank end. Great shot by Julie Tippin here to score the single point. After 4 ends of play, we've got Rachel Homan 6, Julie Tippin 2, and we're going to stop in for a word from our sponsors.
Like, I thought you like go straight.
Welcome back to Cobourg, Ontario, site for the ladies' 2017 Scotties Tournament of Hearts and the men's Recharge with Milk Tankard. Obviously 4 games on tap right now. Obviously we're watching our feature game of Rachel Homan and Julie Tippin. Rachel Homan leading that by the score of 6 points to 2 right now, and we are in the 5th end of play. So I think we're going to get our first look at the Wego Wick. Oh, I think she's fooling us.
Yes,
oh,
I
maybe
think
not.
they're.
No?
I thought she motioned for a corner guard, but I think they're trying to check.
Perfect guard by Tess Bobby, and now, yeah, here we go.
Very nice.
What a great legacy to
Great
have.
shot.
You have a shot named after you.
So impressive.
I'm jealous. There is a Tet Peel, but that's kind of where you take the you take the corner guard, but you take your own rocks out of play though too.
it came down, like it was 10. I could see it curling, so I was like wanting to clean it. She's like, no, like I want to. It's good.
This time Tess puts the guard up a little bit higher. And Rachel's going to be content just to walk over and hit their shot rock in the 12-foot here. Hopefully just hit and nose it and sit shot stone. Because obviously Julie's going to have to try to step out here, and I expect her to try to throw either the double center guard or go right in. If she goes right in, you know, Rachel's going to be patient, just going to keep peeling the guard until she's got an opportunity to make a play on the rock and the rings. I think
Absolutely.
it's really important right here for Rochelle Vink to get this stone just in behind her own center guard, just short of the rings. Rochelle Vink, the 25-year-old from Woodstock, Ontario.
I just don't know if they're trying to come around or if they're
Three-time Canadian collegiate champion as well, representing Fanshawe. So I think she kind of softed this one a little bit, and it's sort of taking off. Trying to get enough separation that Joanne Courtney is not going to be able to make the double peel on her. But she could eliminate this those two rocks pretty easy. It's interesting when the players went to numbers on their backs.
Yes, it happened quite quickly. Most teams doing it now.
Well, I think a lot of times it's just kind of their favorite number. It's not necessarily anything significant about, unless you're Craig Koshin where you had .079. Replay here. Look at her directly behind, her eyes right in line with the rock. Good extension. Perfectly done by Joanne Courtney there.
Very nice. This one just going sideways.
That's pretty good. You can roll hair my way too.
Little deep.
Well, and that's the last place that Julie wanted that stone, was into the rings. You know, you're trying to mount an offense, trying to create anything, and it needs to start with a center guard. Joanne Courtney going to try to hit this. Hopefully almost roll to the other side of the rings if she can. That's a good shot. Great shot by Joanne Courtney.
Sorry. I thought just released. Like, I love the slide, but just a hair. Like, should let it curl if it got off it. Okay.
Well, Chantel Duhame here is going to try and tap the Homan rock. The only way you can create some offense is if you've got some rocks to play with. So she's just going to try and tap this stone in behind the tee line if she can, knowing that her shooter will roll open a little bit and Rachel's team will have to play it. But hopefully on her next stone she can come around and freeze to that rock at the back of the 8-foot.
Tess trying to make it curl now using that directional sweep. Trying to get a good chunk of that rock.
You know, so once again, just much too heavy. You know, when you need rocks in play, you just can't be tapping them through the rings.
It.
You know, it was more important for her to tap that rock a foot and leave some form of angle to make things difficult for Rachel's team. When you tap that through, this becomes a fairly routine hit. Emma's going to try to hit this and roll probably well over to the right side of the sheet if she can. Try and get it closer to the tee line.
It just sort of did like one last turn and crossed it.
Yep, yep, yep. Hard! 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 Push! Okay.
All the way over.
Yep, yep, yep.
Good sweep.
Wow, Emma might have a rock there that's a little bit sharper. I think it's a couple times it's taken off. Julie, you're in for a dime. You're in for a dollar here. You might as well draw in.
I still really like the draw because then she's just gonna have that.
There's a difference, like Rachel for two, like if you completely off the line versus close to the line.
You could go back. Yeah.
It,
You don't have much air here, probably, eh? A little bit. Yeah.
they can't really get under unless they
Well, her only other option here is to, if she could somehow hit that stone and roll in behind the corner guard, and then if Homan's team tried to rip the corner guard back and missed, she could walk over, hit the other stone, try to force Rachel to a point here, and or get a blank and regroup after 5 ends of play and start making the center guards again.
Mine's good. Mine's good.
They did settle on this draw, though. I think trying to bring it a little bit further back. Julie was scared of the slash on that yellow in the top 12 foot.
Yeah, play hard back.
So trying to create some separation, make a more difficult angle.
Definitely. And there's a great draw
It's
by
very nice.
Chantel. Very nicely done.
Yeah, there wasn't air before, eh? There wasn't air before?
So
No, she
this could be.
Rachel can throw. How much can, like, I had like
a
it in
quarter.
this way?
Which way?
Sounds like somebody kicked a stationary stone there.
Yeah, Rachel just hit that stone in the 12 foot with her foot.
Very deep. No, like she could see this much of the like space.
Okay. Thanks.
Was there air?
We might be able to show a replay of that rock coming in, and just to see her footwork there and see if she did kick the stone.
They're just trying to figure out where exactly it was.
You want to throw that same 11 you threw before?
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
11. Roll the guard off, tap it in.
We could throw the 11
Well, this is where
way.
Rachel might get a little bit
Split
greedy
on,
here.
It's okay.
Like,
like that.
you're up 6 points to 2. The shot is actually.
We're playing the top. If it hangs, we get it back. So if it hangs here, I like hit her off.
The shot here is actually to try to tap this rock through the rings, throwing hack weight. If you just feather tick the front and roll into the rings, that is a great plan B.
Mine's good. Close. Yep. Whoa. Whoa then.
Close. Yes!
Off. Nothing.
I think she's just got this.
Great shot.
Never mind. I didn't know if you were there or not.
Nicely done by Emma.
Just removes it from the rings.
You gotta hop to hog on mine. Just extra. eh?
Great control weight there.
Yeah. That felt like
Our crew's doing a fantastic job bringing us all these shots. Live streaming to you from Title Sports Live.
It backs up, and then if you're off, it comes up. That's okay. We got it out. We got the job done.
I just haven't touched last night. This
Yeah.
was great. Oh, it was like at least hack. We barely hit it and it went east turn.
So fun. I thought I threw like because I threw 4 right before, so I thought it was pretty close to this one.
They said it looked good.
Yeah. That's when they were carry.
Well, now Julie Tippin has no alternative now. She has to go behind the corner guard, hopefully get this totally buried. And if she gets this buried, you may see Rachel try to run her rock in the top 12 foot into it. That's almost what Julie would want.
14 all the way back. Yeah, hard. Yeah. Keep it shot. Yeah, keep going. I'm hard. Keep going. Great, nice.
Gonna be close for whose shot now.
Yeah, see, that's kind of an example of things that players need to be cognizant of. So sweeping in behind the tee line, the throwing team has the first prerogative to sweep that. But if they're not going to sweep it, they have to get out of the way so the opposition's team can sweep it. And so in that instance there, she kind of swept and then she kind of stopped. Well, it's, you know, the problem being is that if you start sweeping, you almost have to continue sweeping. Otherwise, it's not fair to the defending team. Rachel Hizzard, I think she's just going to play a quiet little backline tap. Hopefully lay 2, if not 3, by the end of this shot. 371, that should be lots of weight.
Great shot of Rachel there. That shot really over curling.
Well, this gives Julie a great opportunity here now.
It does, yeah. She left it.
Not shot. I don't think she was shot rock back there. If I stand corrected, gives her an opportunity to get one around back 4 foot, and then, you know, does Rachel play the run back or does she play the tap? What does she play? This is where you'd love to show them the inch or two, and they end up trying to play the tap, and then they lose it at the end and the rack, and you steal your point. I'm thinking you almost want to keep Rachel away from the high hard one. Oh, they got to go hard on this. Try to get it in there. Well, that's going to be a wide open hit for Rachel Homan for another 2 points. I think she's second shot, is she not?
I'm not sure.
Maybe your overhead cam can give us another
quick
close shot of that. So if you see the rock at about 2 o'clock and then the rock down there about 4:30, looks like it is definitely blue. So so Julie Tippin is laying 2 points right now. Rachel's going to try a open hit here to get her 1 point.
They're keeping the angle in mind for that double.
Well, I don't think it's really there. It's a really awkward angle. If she did, she'd be taking a chance. And the last thing you want to do is give away a free point.
Nicely done. Right on the nose.
Great throw by Rachel Homan to score 1 point here, and she will lead after 5 ends of play, 7-2. Stand by for a shot of our Parade of Champions coming up this Thursday.
The Ontario Curling Association, its board of directors, and over 193 member clubs, as well as 50,000 curling members, would like to acknowledge and thank the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sport for their recognition of the sport of curling, as well as its long history of past champions. The Ministry is supporting the Ontario 150 Celebration of Champions in Cobourg this week. This celebration acknowledges the sport of curling in Ontario and Canada for over 150 years. From Olympic gold medalists to 4-time world and Canadian champions, Ontario has a history of producing winners who showcase their talents to Ontario, to Canada, and the rest of the world. Please enjoy the streaming this week from Coburg, Ontario, and do not miss our Parade of Champions, February the 2nd at 7 p.m., followed by the free streaming of the Glenn Howard versus John Epping game.
Thanks very much. I'm here on ice level, and we're at the fifth end break. Let me give you a few score updates for you today. On sheet A, Mike Harris has just scored 2 on Kerry Hegestad. Mike Harris leads Hegestad 4-2. On sheet B, it's Wayne Tuck leading Greg Balsden 3-2. They are also in their fifth end break now. The feature sheet, sheet 4, Rachel Homan, of course, having that lead over Julie Tippin 7-2. And down on sheet D, Allison Flaxey and Sherry Madaw, they are tied 4-4. They are playing now their sixth end. I've got some great curlers here. Some of them have been curling since all last week. I've got Wiley Allen with me. He is the second on the Team Hegestad team. Wiley, where were you curling last week?
I was in Windsor for the Ontario Police Curling Championships.
That's impressive. Now, how do you make it to the Ontario Police Curling Championships?
You know what? It's a network of fellow curlers and police officers, all playing for Tourette Foundation and getting together annually for a provincial championship. This year, we only had 4 teams compete in Windsor. Numbers are down a little bit. Any police officers out there that want to join our group, we'd love to have you out next year.
And tell us, how did you do?
We lost the final to Garth Mitchell. We want to wish him the best of luck in Fredericton, New Brunswick at the Nationals in April.
That's fantastic. Well, you guys have a tight game right now. You haven't won a game yet. How are you going to turn things around for the second half of the game, trailing 4-2 against Mike Harris?
We're just going to try to keep these old bodies alive. We're a bunch of old dogs got together for this championship, and it's nice to be out here with the pros, and we're learning a lot. And you know what? If we win a couple games, we're going to be really thrilled.
That's fantastic. That's Wiley Allen of the Corey Hegestad team. They're in their fifth end break trying to make a comeback in the second half of the game. That's the update from the ice to your device. Let's go back to the booth with Rebecca and Ian.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Old dogs, I can relate to that line.
That was great, Wiley.
Well, in our feature match here, after 5 ends of play, we've got Rachel Homan leading Julie Tippin by the score of 7-2. They're kind of making short work out of these ladies. So, Rebecca, what do you think Julie's going to have to do this back half of the game?
Well, as I said before, the last end really going to have to try something different in order to generate some points here. She's been trying to use those rocks in play, but her freezes just haven't quite been able to get there, so she's going to really need to try to get those freezes in a good position.
Well, our crew has been fantastic here. They're going to give us some clips here from the first half. Pistol shot here. She threads the needle with board weight, makes it through, removes the tip and rock, and gets 4 points. What a great start to the game. Here we are in the third end where she makes the double takeout, removes her own, but hangs around, gets another 2 points. At that point, she led 6-1. Obviously, now she's leading 7-2. Ran into her father here a second ago, and he was elated the fact that she didn't try to throw the double takeout with her last rock there in the fifth end. She was patient. She took her 1 point. It's like you almost at times you have to take your medicine. You recognize that you've got a ton of talent, but you've got to play the scoreboard.
Well, that's exactly it. She didn't really need to score 2 points there. Taking a 5-point lead here over Team Tippin with 5 ends to go. Great shot of some of the kids in the crowd here watching today.
That's one of the other great traditions with the men's championship and the ladies championship here, that they bring out some of the school kids during the week. They get the opportunity to see some of their idols and stars and their favorites in the curling world and get to cheer for them. They kind of get exposed to the game, which is, like I say, it's a great tradition. And one of the things curling is trying to do is they've got the Rocks and Rings program that brings it into the schools so the kids learn about the game. They get to learn the nuances of the game. You get to yell hurry hard and sweep and do all those great things that we hear all these curlers do.
Absolutely, that's so great. We see a good crew of young curlers here on the men's and the women's side, and it's really great to see some of those even younger kids out here watching today. We heard from a volunteer from the West Northumberland Curling Club yesterday down at ice level with Jason and talking about their junior program a little bit, and great for the future of the game.
You know, that's one of the things that the Olympics has actually done is it's exposed this game to the world. I was in Sochi following my wife, and one of the things that you saw at the Olympics is that, you know, when you can walk into an arena and watch 5 different games going on or 4 different games going on, you know, it makes for great theater. It's almost like it's like being at a hockey rink as well. You know, at the Olympics, when you go watch some of the skiing or some of these things, you kind of see them for about 5 seconds, and then you got to kind of wait for the next racer to come down the hill. And it doesn't seem to be great value for your money if you're going to physically watch. That's the beauty of curling, is that, you know, it's all right here in front of you. You can kind of watch whichever sheet you want to kind of to focus on.
That's an excellent point. Another unique aspect of this game for sure.
Well, and now that the World Curling Federation, now we've got curling in 55 different countries throughout the world, and you know, the European Championships now, they've got an A pool, a B pool, and a C pool. So it's you know, it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and so, you know, we've got nations like Korea and China and Japan that are coming on strong. These Pacific nations, obviously Australia, they're playing down there thanks to a gentleman by the name of Hugh Milliken. So there's a lot of great things that are happening in this game, and we've got the World University Games going on right now in Kazakhstan. So you know, cool stuff going on.
Certainly great to see this sport expanding into different parts of the world.
Well, Julie's got her 2 corner guards established, and there's obviously 2 Homan rocks in the house, and Rachel's going to get Joanne Courtney here to just to peel this stone off. And well done by Joanne Courtney. You know, this is one of those times where maybe Julie Tippin, rather than keep throwing the corner guards here, sometimes you want to get, you know, I'm going to relate to myself here. You know, sometimes the front end players aren't rocket scientists, where the back end guys, you know, they're supposed to be the brains of the bunch. You know, so you know, maybe she would want to get aggressive, a little bit more aggressive here on the front end rocks, hoping to take advantage of a miss from one of the front end players. Obviously, Emma and Rachel themselves are very, very strong players. You know, front enders, sometimes they can have their good points and their bad points.
They're the brains, we're the brawn. Is that what you're saying,
exactly.
Ian?
Exactly. Julie just replacing that corner guard, and Joanne Courtney's going to get the same in-turn peel.
Can't. Good.
Another nice one.
Send it back to flashing by like an inch.
Yeah, I would think that
So it does go there.
the homer percentages, if we were doing their percentages, would actually be very, very high in this game. I think the only missed shots were actually, you know, Rachel sort of on her tap, sort of racking on the guard, and I think Emma, when she was trying to throw the board weight hit back here 2 ends ago, she ended up racking on the guard. I think those have been the only real kind of misses.
They're playing very well.
Rochelle Vink going to tap this rock around, hopefully create a bit of a pocket back here if she can. Well done. Well done. And Rachel's going to try and remove the tip and rock here and try to just run a flop in front of her own 2 stones if she can. try to eliminate that pocket. If she rolls too far, you're going to see Julie Tippin try to freeze down in that pocket, at which point it'll be almost impossible to remove. Well, she noses it and sort of maintains that control rock or two, but I still think Julie Tippin still needs to try to secure a stone in here. So I fully expect to see her freeze.
Like 85? 85? Is this further out? Did anybody else think?
Interesting, they're talking about the weight here, and the 85 referring to 385 being sort of a backline to hog split.
Chantal Duhame trying to lock this one on.
Well, she threw exactly what she wanted to throw. I got her at 384.
Needs to come off that corner guard.
Guess she had a little too much ice there. Julie taking responsibility for that. So at this point, I think Rachel's going to switch gears and start going on the offense. You know, we're down. She's down to the last 3 rocks of her end.
We just don't want to tap it back to you. Like, if I'm a little late, so
Trying to make it as tough as possible for Julie to generate a multiple score.
Well, if she can tap this straight back or even just slightly across the face and tap it back without popping it out into the open, it's going to be really difficult for Julie to try to get at it and remove it.
Just needs to sit.
Yeah, she sort of tapped that back on the high side. She would have liked to have been a little bit more across the face. So this is going to still leave an opportunity for Julie to make a tap here. If she can tap it frozen on those stones, I think it's there for the rest of the end. So it's interesting. She was out a little bit wider last time. So now she's probably thinking she might need more weight. She's got less ice, but if she throws more weight, it's just going to run that much straighter. It's trying to curl here.
Might end up being pretty good.
Well, it's still going to be fully exposed for Rachel to look after. I think Rachel's just going to try to nose this stone if she can, but you can't get that cute, so I fully expect her to sort of hit it and roll away a little bit. Then it's going to give Julie Tippin the opportunity to just sort of throw a little light tap and freeze on those other rocks.
Yes, they're having a tough time getting the right ice weight combination there on that intern side.
So I'm throwing down normal and giving the same ice, so we'll probably have to let it curl. Just stay close to it. Don't want to touch center here, guys.
It's nice to see Rachel kind of give the sweeper some information. So they'll watch her throw this, and they'll just kind of watch the edge of the stone versus the center line, because she's kind of saying, look, you can't let it touch center line. So that's kind of their guide when they're going down. They're just kind of watching the rock and watching it in relation to the center line. Now that's just a safe shot. You know what? Repeat on that shot. Just great release on that. Really good slide lines. Head directly in behind her hand in the rock. Like I say, Rachel gets lots of rotation on her rocks. and executes that shot perfectly. Great job, guys.
I've given you this much less ice than I thought you just caught that shot.
So Julie's going to come down here now. Rebecca, I think she's going to, if she can just nose it and stay on the nose, there's an opportunity that Rachel may not be able to get her out. I think, but she's got to stay directly on the nose. It'll probably still give Rachel a slash, and Rachel can throw it so hard and so accurate that I fully expect that she'll be able to pop it out of the rings. But maybe she gets a tiny little miss out of her.
We'll see. As you said, needs to stay pretty much exactly on the nose.
Just like that.
Pretty good.
You can see from that shot right there that there is just a tiny, there's about an inch off nose. There's a little tiny skew of the rocks.
Okay, you want to give me middle?
I like this because we have to hit high side.
Just hard for me to release it.
So I think Rachel's just going to throw a high, hard peel at this.
Just high is good.
That's pretty good.
Should be able to release it with this ice.
Talking about how she's going to release this stone.
Well,
trying to keep it straight.
you know, my challenge with her is that she's got ice into the rock, so she's almost expecting this thing to actually go back. For her to make this shot, the rock has to go back. When she puts a lot of rotation on that, sometimes the rock will float back. I would just like to see her throw it right at the edge of the rock and throw it straight. I would just like to see her throw it right at the edge of the rock and throw it straight. The team has done their jobs here. They've forced Julie Tippin to make her shot for 1 point. Open hit here. And she's going to hang around for the single point. So after 6 ends of play, we've got Rachel Homan 7, Julie Tippin 3. Sherry Madaw team over there stole a point in the 6th end, and she's taken a 5-4 lead. And the Wayne Tuck team has jumped up to a 5-2 lead over Greg Baldston. And our last game out here is Mike Harris. He's got a 4-2 lead on Corey Hagestad, and they've got a gazillion rocks in play.
They do. Great shot of the crowd here. Lots of people out enjoying these matches this morning.
Well, here we are in the 7th end of play. Tess Bobby gets her center guard into play once again. A nice tight center guard. She's hoping to establish a double center guard if she can. But here we go again. The Weagle Wick back at work.
Absolutely, she's so good at these. We saw 2 ends ago, she ticked that blue stone into the rings, which means on her second stone she can hit it. Kind of lost it there.
Yeah. Oh.
Bit of a sweeping error.
The first miss. So that's exactly what Julie Tippin was waiting for here. Is now she's got the opportunity to establish her double center guard. I know Lisa will probably throw the tick again. If not, they'll probably draw around to the top of the 4-foot, trying to protect the 4-foot.
Trying to keep as much separation between these 2 rocks.
women's game, isn't it?
Yeah. I got a different time.
Not quite where Tess wanted to put that stone. Making Rachel think about where to put her shot in the rings because she's going to try and make a double peel on those later.
Well, and it's so simple to make that double peel that I think I wouldn't be surprised if, rather than throwing the wick here, she just drew to the open side, sort of established her point in the rings. And then with Joanne Courtney, who's been really strong and accurate, I fully expect that she'd have no problem making that double peel.
Gotta drag that hard. Yep. Straight sneak.
Taking it into the back 8-foot.
Really high.
Right. Well, Julie's not going to take any chances here. She knows that Joanne Courtney can make that double peel, no problem. She's trying to get Rochelle Vink to at least get that third guard up there, and hope that she doesn't make a triple peel.
It's a pretty good spot.
I think at this point she'd be happy with a double peel even. So even she gets the top rock, and then the rock closest to the center line. He jumped out of her hand. She's got to be really close. Oh,
Just got the back one as well.
perfectly done. I think that was the shot on tap there. So interesting to see if Julie goes right in or if she still tries to establish the double center. Problem is right now, if you don't go in, if you throw the double center, she makes the double peel. Like the end is really over. So you might as well take this opportunity while you've got it.
Just trying to hit it thin because they said it was heavy.
Nice throw, Joe.
385 was her back line to hog split. That's kind of the draw weight that they were throwing last end, was it not?
Pretty close. I'd like this to stop.
Yeah, that's.
You're right, Ian. It was so tough to place that guard in a spot where there wasn't going to be a double peel here for Joanne.
And this is sort of playing right into Joanne's hands. I think she really likes to throw these big weight shots. Gets the opportunity to make the double peel here again, and hopefully sort of nullify any opportunity for Julie Tippin. Ooh, she just
missed it.
Well, we're down to thirds rocks here, so Chantal Duhaime's going to, well, she's still asking for that double center.
Yes.
So what may happen, though, if she gets this thing a foot or two over the hog line where the double peel is not available, you may see Rachel switch gears and actually try to draw. Try to make sure that she capitalizes on getting to the top of the 4 foot first. Geez, they're having a tough time getting that second guard into position.
It's even closer together than Joe's.
Okay, 3/4 still.
You can hit up to half and still make it.
And the Ottawa resident Emma Miskew going to try and make this double peel.
Hard, Joe!
They jumped it right away.
Rollers.
It's a little bit tight.
There's the break that Julie was waiting for, and now they're slightly staggered.
Bit of an opportunity here for Chantel, trying to sink this one around.
Well, they haven't had many opportunities to sort of try to capitalize on a situation like this, and so this is it. And it's kind of like, okay, we got to rally the troops here and start making some shots. Great shot by Chantel. Gets it right in there, fully buried.
Very nice.
Well, Emma's got one opportunity here, though. The way the guards are kind of angled, she can hit her stone tiny bit high. It's going to drive the blue Tippin stone straight back, and it may just peel the rock in the rings right off. So she might be able to clean house here with this one shot. So job number one is get rid of the guards, and she did that perfectly. You know, if you get the bonus tick in the house, that's where you kind of salute the stars.
Yes. Nice double peel.
Well, Julie's going to take this opportunity to hopefully throw a tight center. It's going to have to be directly in line. Otherwise, I fully expect that Rachel will try to come by and try to tap it, her shot stone through the rings. Well, it's tight and it's right in line. I fully expect it. Rachel now will actually try to run that stone straight back, peel out shot rock, maybe even roll her shooter onto the rings. That's a perfect scenario.
Yes.
Unless you just want to peel it.
So even if I make it, I still have my guard.
Yeah. Do I just peel it? I guess.
Even if I make the double, I still sit on my guard.
Straight through. Curls a bit.
Am I going to try to peel this? Rachel, just missing the back one. Did she? But the mission accomplished. She rolled it onto the rings. So that's where she threw the in turn at that. I might have ventured to throw the out turn just because the out turn would have come up. The back rock comes off a little flatter or straighter. than pop it with her in-turn. It sort of pops it over. And that's because she throws a lot of handle. I think she gets a little bit more action on that stationary stone than most.
Right. I was a bit surprised she didn't throw the out turn as well.
Well, I think she was more concerned that, like, it's sort of in a spot there. Like, if she jammed on that out turn, it would have been absolutely ugly.
That's deadly.
So the most important thing was to make sure that her shooter cleared away. You know, at the end of the day here, she's just looking to take 1 point here, sort of maintain that 5-point lead if she can. So we'll see how patient Rachel can be here, if she's going to try to run it or just draw.
Okay.
Draw for the single, have an 8-3 lead, and you, because we're late in the game,
Like, when you hear this,
we might
you probably felt
hear
like
the
you threw
Velcro,
a
or we might go on to the 8.
So this spot's pretty good. Like, they've broken it down all game. I would just adjust a little bit less than that.
They've thrown this a bunch though.
Yeah, that's what I mean, just a hair less than that one.
Rachel hasn't thrown many draws, so this will be this is going to be an interesting shot to watch. You know, the sign of a great skip is one that can throw that high hard peel and then turn around and draw to the button. So
That's exactly it. She has been throwing a lot of hits.
.390 for her backline to hog, which should be really close. They seem to pick it up right away, going hard on it.
Line's really good.
Yep. Drag that.
Hardly.
Lisa Weigel sort of sweeping in the direction of the stone, trying to get more carry out of it.
Okay.
Not quite enough ice there, so and she ends up racking. So
Probably not. It's probably late.
a little a nice little pickup for Julie Tippin there.
Yes.
We are going to our Parade of Champions clip.
The Ontario Curling Association, its board of directors, and over 193 member clubs, as well as 50,000 curling members, would like to acknowledge and thank the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sport for their recognition of the sport of curling, as well as its long history of past champions. The Ministry is supporting the Ontario 150 Celebration of Champions in Cobourg this week. This celebration acknowledges the sport of curling in Ontario and Canada for over 150 years. From Olympic gold medalists to 4-time world and Canadian champions, Ontario has a history of producing winners who showcase their talents to Ontario, to Canada, and the rest of the world. Please enjoy the streaming this week from Cobourg, Ontario, and do not miss our Parade of Champions, February the 2nd at 7 p.m., followed by the free streaming of the Glenn Howard versus John Epping game.
Welcome back to Cobourg, Ontario, site of this year's Ladies 2017 Ontario Scotties Tournament of Hearts, as well as the men's Recharge with Milk Tankard. We are thrilled to have our feature game here between Rachel Homan and Julie Tippin. And Rebecca, Julie just got the first break of the game. She gets a steal. She only trails 3 points now. So I don't know. She still keeps keeps the fight up here. She may be able to claw her way back into this game.
Exactly. A much-needed steal there in the 7th end gives them a bit of
Ontario Scotties Tournament of Hearts, as well as the men's Recharge with Milk Tankard. We are thrilled to have our feature game here between Rachel Homan and Julie Tippin. And Rebecca, Julie just got the first break of the game. She gets a steal. She only trails 3 points now. So I don't know. She still keeps keeps the fight up here. She may be able to claw her way back into this game.
Exactly. A much-needed steal there in the 7th end gives them a bit of momentum heading into the last 3 ends of this game. Really needed that to keep themselves in this game.
Well, once again, she's going to try and get Tess Bobby here to
Need
throw the
this
double
over.
center. If they can establish that center,
Good shot.
Rachel's going to try to get Lisa Weigel here to make the tick. Joanne Courtney going hard on this. This is gone early.
Yeah, just over curling. Maybe a little bit less weight than they normally throw.
Yeah, well, she kept played the curling turn there. I know going away, she's been playing the same out turn, but that turn being just a tiny bit straighter. Well, Julie Tippin's going to try to take advantage of that and try and get Tess Bobby to throw a second center guard here. If she can get it directly in line with her other center guard and hopefully much tighter to the ring, so there won't be any double takeout possibilities.
So it's good weight.
Having to go for weight, trying to get as much separation as they can.
Well, she gets it into place, but it's still in a spot where I think Joanne Courtney's going to she'll have a run at that double takeout, but rather than tick the center guard, she's getting Lisa Weigel to try to draw one in here, try to just maintain control of the 4-foot area.
Another miss there from Lisa.
Well, when the momentum starts shifting your way, you've got to take advantage of it, and that's exactly, that little steal, the last end. All of a sudden, all the players start getting a little bit rejuvenated. They get a couple of breaks here now, and they're going to have an opportunity to steal this end, providing that Rochelle Vink here can try to get one in there, sunk around in the top 4-foot.
It's straight here now. You can let go where you want to hit it.
If this stays above the tee line, it's going to be a great shot. Really nicely done.
Very well done. Well, Joanne Courtney's got the opportunity here, though. That just the way the guards are kind of staggered, she could try to run the double peel, and if you get really lucky, you might even get the rock in the rings. Like that.
Great shot. Just incredible.
Look at her get right in behind her eyes, right in line with the stone. Great forward extension and release. Didn't need any sweeping. Boom, boom, boom. And they all go away. That makes Rachel's job a heck of a lot easier when you got a second person that can clean up the mess, so to speak, left by your lead.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this will come up a hair.
So then Julie Tippin had no other alternative than to replace the center guard, and Joanne Courtney is going to go back to work here again and just try to make that go away.
Clean. Good.
Chantel Duhame now, her first stone.
Okay. Is it easier to take the other turn?
Oh, I was just thinking we could tap us in. Or get rid of everything.
Okay.
Heel.
Left that in a bit of a spot where Emma's going to try and make this double peel now. That corner guard being the only thing Julie really had to use later on.
Yeah. Really hard. Hard. Drag it out hard.
Emma's
Wow.
struggled here a little bit on some of her peels.
Just sliding a little tight by the looks of it.
Julie's going to get Chantel to try to walk this stone in around the corner guard there. Try to get something going.
Got a curl. Should go. Got a curl. No line. Hard all the way back.
Really need this to curl.
Well, she gets it fully buried, so
Can you see it or no? Can you see that?
Really finished nicely. We're going to get another look at that finish here.
like look where that rock came
Lots
from,
of
the
curl.
far side of the hog line, and just sort of makes the turn, and they finish it up, and they get some really good finish on that. That curled about 2 feet from just inside the hog line.
Curled a ton.
Emma trying to make the double peel here.
Yep, gotta go, Joe.
She does just that.
Leaves her shooter over as a corner guard.
Couple of miscues here. Wondering how many times Emma has heard that joke
I was
before.
just going to say, I'm sure she's never heard that one before.
Well, Julie just going to take advantage of this and try to get a center guard established. Guard her rock on the edge of the forefoot. Well, that's a heck of a lot tighter than she would have liked.
Yes.
It's going to give Rachel the double opportunity, maybe even the double even spin into the rings and even behind her own corner guard.
I think I've seen this before last time we took the
Yeah. 3/4.
Don't let go nose, it should curl up a little bit. Shoot through. 2/3 on the inside, guys. Roll my shooter even buried if you can.
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Oh.
Intensity in her eyes.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Just spills that blue over into the side of the 12-foot.
Almost. See that? See, she slid the little off kilter there. She was way down. She was her body was the left side of center line, and she tried to get it back, and I think she just might have feathered it back a little bit too much.
That's exactly it. Her rock and her body not quite in line with the broom.
And the one thing she did do is probably the one thing she didn't want to do was roll to center line, because that is exactly what Julie Tippin wants. Now she's got the opportunity to draw behind that and lay 2 points, and she's got an opportunity to steal another point here. So she's fighting and clawing here. Oh, this does not look light.
They haven't touched it at all.
Wow, this thing is just absolutely sailing. That is a miss of epic proportions.
That's huge.
Because you know what, she's just gone from just the one shot where she had a chance to possibly get this game back to 7-5, maybe even 7-6 if Rachel had missed her shot. All she had to do was get that into anywhere into the top 4 foot, and it really put the pressure on Rachel. Now Rachel's got an open hit, get 2 points here, and that will give her a 9-4 lead, and I fully expect that we're going to see handshakes.
2 ends to go here after this end. It's not a lot of time to make up that deficit.
No, correct. You know, when it really comes down to it, you know, sort of the shot by Rachel in the first end, and that shot right there would be the key points in the key misses in the game, or key shots at the point, turning points in the game. Well, Rachel hits and rolls out here, and that's sort of a lucky break for Julie.
Just getting the single point.
You know, Rachel will be disappointed with that because she could have ended the game right there. We're going to be right back after these messages.
Welcome back, everybody, to Cobourg, Ontario, our coverage of the 2017 Ontario Scotties Tournament of Hearts. Also got some games on the ice here for the men's recharge with Milk Tankard. Our featured game here on Sheet C, Team Homan, Team Tippin. Team Homan leading now 8-4. Team Tippin will have the hammer here with 2 ends to go. Lisa Weigel starting us off for Team Homan. Going to be looking to put this one in the rings, commanding 4-point lead. They don't really want any guards in play. They don't need any extra rocks here.
Yeah, I guess. I don't think you're going through, but
Go back 12. I spin.
it's too late to sweep it.
Okay.
Lisa a little bit heavy, slipping into the back 8 foot. Julie now going to try and get some corner guards up there, generate some offense.
Good guess, Lise. You should know how it would run. You're going to pick it out now.
Really curling. Hard, hard, hard.
Nice shot attest there as well. Her corner guard
You guys don't want to go top
maybe
4?
over curling just a hair.
Okay.
Think the top 8's okay.
of separation between them here. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges that teams have when you've got a big lead, whether it be 3 points, 4 points, or 5 points, you know, sometimes you start losing a little bit of focus because you kind of feel like the game's sort of in hand. And, you know, Lisa Weigel missed 2 last end. Her first rock here goes deep. Looks like her second rock's going to go deep. And so it's kind of like they're hoping that this game gets over because it ends soon. So. But so it's really unfortunate that Julie Tippin, you know, she had the opportunity that last end. She throws it through the rings, and you know that's a massive, massive swing in the game because she goes from that opportunity to possibly steal 2. Even if you steal a point, now all of a sudden it's a ball game, and unfortunately, Rachel gets her 1 point there, and now she goes back to a 4-point lead.
That's exactly it. The difference between a 7-5 game and an 8-4 game is huge here with 2 ends left.
Rachel not going to take any chances here with Joanne Courtney. She's just going to kind of rip this corner guard off. And very well done. Still think Julie Tippin's going to have an opportunity here for at least 2 points this end. The rocks of Lisa Weigels are both behind the tee line already, and she's got a corner guard. So she's going to be able to possibly go around the corner, they peel the corner, and then she can start freezing right away. She doesn't have to worry about tapping rocks around and rearranging, wasting a sort of a shot to get rocks in the right positions. Like the rocks are already there.
Right. If she can ever turn this into a 3-point end here, that would be huge, coming home having to steal 1 in the 10th end to force the extra end. Trying to keep this even with their other one.
Yeah.
Nice shot.
Well done. Yeah, she wants to make sure that the rocks are very far apart and evenly depth-wise, just so there is no double takeout for Courtney. Courtney. Uh-oh.
Wow, another miss.
Well, for Julie and her team, if there's a setup where you can score multiple points, possibly even 3, this is it.
This is what you're hoping for in this end. Trying to figure out now how to manage this.
Well,
there's a couple options.
In my world, you ignore those rocks in the rings and you go around your own corner guard on the right-hand side. They're going to peel it off. Then you go around the yellow rock. You're going to have to hit the rock that's in the open. And then you can go around the yellow rock again. Now you've got 2 rocks positioned around a corner guard. And then at that point, now Rachel's going to be forced to either rip the guard straight back and or make a big freeze. And I'm not sure at this point when you're up 4 that you'd want to try to freeze.
Right. The benefit of drawing behind, I guess, the other corner guard and not this one is that Team Homan would have to run in a Team Tippin rock versus right now they're drawing behind a Homan rock.
Finish at the end. Finish at the end. Yeah, hard. Yeah, really hard. Gotta finish it hard. Really hard. Right on stop. Go, 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 go. Finish.
It's a good shot. At least she gets it around the corner guard. It doesn't matter massively which one you go around first. I always think, to me, I would be trying to draw them away from the center line because at least this one, you get 2 behind it, you could be shot initially. And I'm just going to peel the corner guard here.
does that.
Alright, sliding really good. It's rolling really good. Just catch it. Is it so fast here? It's just kind of gone out of your hand.
This is probably,
Like a 90?
if Julie were to look back and look at it at some tape footage of opportunities and ways to score extra points, this is sort of a perfect situation, because what you need now is she should be going around the corner guard, and that's how she's going to generate at least a 3-point end. By doing this, you know, it's still going to give.
Got a curl. Starting
It's going to give Rachel an opportunity to slash the rock out.
Got a curl.
There's going to at least be 2 stones
Really
that are going
nice.
to be out in the open here. Nice freeze.
Very good shot.
So I think Rachel can
Did you see my nice
slash
little-
this out,
What time was that?
and the back yellow will just jam right there, and she should stay for shot rock.
I was like about to like go. Is it actually
I might be
so good, or
tempted
is
to
it
hit the other open one here,
Okay.
and just flop in front if you can. So then that one, if you do that, like if you slash this and you jam it, it's ugly, and you may jam that blue in behind the corner, and then it's going to get really ugly. I think it's just play the scoreboard. Even if you give up 2 points here, it's not the end of the world.
That's
But
exactly it.
just don't give up 3.
They called the timeout here, going to bring out their coach, so maybe we can have a listen in.
Get rid of one.
I think either we peel it out and then they split for the house for 2 and we try to make a double or something, or we hit this. Because I think playing with leaving these in here is just creating backing for your rocks. Like we want to be able to make sure we can get max of 2. Either
Adam
I can
Kingsbury,
peel it out,
their
I'll
coach,
take ours,
coming down to
or I
offer some
pick
advice.
this one out.
6 draw, but the 5 is a bit sketchy.
I don't really like playing lightweight at this.
Can they peel it out? Okay, you just want to hit the open one then?
Okay.
Because of the drag?
Nice shot from our overhead camera there. Shows you there is a bit of separation between the blue and the yellow. She could possibly pick that out.
Or like, if you want me to play control and be like hit and roll over here or something, give us an angle.
Yeah, it's just if you block
I
it
don't.
off, it's bad.
You do not want to roll in behind the corner guard, because then she can start freezing there.
Okay, you're throwing this with board, whatever you want. Sure. As long as it's like his way.
She rolled the center line. That would be perfect. Even center line top 4 foot. She's not going to be shot rock, but then if Julie wants to get an extra point, she's going to have to do something with that rock and or try to come around it.
Seems to be moving a little bit here.
Yeah.
Just keep it there. Yep. Okay. Throw him.
Just got the nose.
Well, Rebecca, what's your move?
Like that?
Interesting situation.
Yeah, I thought we'd be able to hold that.
Chantel's
I don't mind
second
that.
rock.
Okay.
I don't mind that call, actually, trying to go around that rock in the top 12 foot, because
I don't think we
she even gets, if she gets it established back there, Rachel cannot make the double off the other blue stone. She would just absolutely jam it. She would be forced to try to slash it out, and if she didn't hit it right, she may jam it in behind that yellow stone as well. I sure hope your pictures at home are as good as the ones I'm seeing on my screen here. These guys are doing a fabulous job.
pretty good. Deeper than this one. Starting to curl. Starting to curl hard. Yeah, good, yeah! Hard!
Good looking shot here by Chantel. They got to get it by though. And the last thing they can do at this point in the game is tick or rack or.
She was light.
That's unfortunate because that's just going to give Rachel an out here just to pick this stone out.
Maybe the hack was just flat, but I don't think we can drag it that much. You like this ice? Maybe it. They said it's heavy. I don't know. No, I think it was just really fun. It's already flat. It curled hard.
We're going to see another heater coming down here from Rachel.
So she's got to move it.
Yes, we are. You know, if she can actually pick this, that would probably be her first preference. First and foremost, get it out of the rings.
Yes! Hard. Yes! Hard! Hard! Good sweep, Joe. Good, really good.
Nice shot.
Oh, that was close. Nice sweep. Not bad that we got rid of one. She plays a hit roll.
Look at her body. Her body's a little left to center, and she's got to put it back to the broom. You know, I think she likes to be sort of throw it from a narrow position, but that might be a little bit too narrow because look how far back that rock has to go.
Still made a nice shot, though.
Well, it's definitely
well done.
Definitely effective.
If you throw a soft weight and hit it thin.
Well, a couple opportunities here. I think trying to get your 2 points. To me, the smart shot would be to freeze the back one. Right, if you can freeze the back one right absolutely on the nose. Or even, yeah, I even like that too. If you can hit and flop inside, Rachel will probably be forced to slash the front ones and say, fine, take your 2. Let's go to the last end.
I had edge of 4 for you.
Pardon?
So I had edge of 4 for you.
Okay.
The other
A little bit
thought,
less.
Rachel, is that Rebecca, if we get this rock, if she got this rock around that, and if Rachel tried to make a play on it,
Draw around.
she could end up ticking the blue rock, removing her own, and then she might have a shot at 3.
You're absolutely right. She just settled on the draw,
Do you
though,
like
I
this, or
think.
do you like the hit and roll?
Say again, sorry?
Oh, she's talking about the hit and roll again now.
The only way we would ever bring 3 into play is the hit and roll and hope she misses.
Just kind of reiterating what you said there, Ian. That's the only way to bring
Well,
3 into play is the hit and roll.
I think if you draw here, she's just going to try and draw down to you and freeze to you. If you freeze the center back one or try to hit and roll, then yeah, I think you definitely bring 3 into play. If you freeze to it, if she actually jammed it and rolled out, then you can walk up and play the top one. So it's kind of whatever order you want to sort of make them in.
Which one?
And it's basically based on what you think Rachel might miss. Like what shot do you want her to play that you think she might miss?
Great shot of Julie there.
So I think if she hits this, if she can roll and show her a few inches, just to tease her.
Only downside if you nose this rock, your multiple score is kind of gone.
Really close. Tess. I don't want to roll behind the guard though.
Wow, this needs to curl even for nose.
Wait.
Well, if Rachel rolls out here, she's going to have the opportunity for her 2 points. If Rachel even just rolls away a little bit, the way those 2 rocks are actually staggered on the front, she'll be able to actually spill that rock in and maybe her shooter and get some of the 8-foot.
Yeah.
So I think it's important here for
Just normal.
Rachel to nose this.
Come up 2 inches. Make sure I get open.
And or the other thought, Rebecca, is can you nose the blue on the left and possibly make a double if this rock stays at the back?
Oh, wow. We'll have to see how the angles line up here.
Hard, Joe! Right to it! Hard! Hard to stay! Hard, hard, hard! Never off, never off. Great sweep. Really good.
That's the great part about speculation. I think Julie here's got to take a chance here. I think she's got to try and hit this other one with probably board weight and try to spin both of them into the 8-foot. It's whether she could, her shooter more than anything might be tougher to get into the 8-foot. There we see Julie's clock has just ticked down below the 5-minute mark. That is thinking time. They start each game with 40 minutes of thinking time.
Yes, they took a little over a minute, I think, on the last shot, so drained it down a little bit.
Wow, there's some sweepers that weren't alive. Fortunately, that's going to be a steal of 1 point for Rachel Homan and a 9-4. And there's the handshakes, so that'll be a 9-4 victory for Rachel Homan over Julie Tippin.
Yeah, great game here on Sheet C. One last time here in this morning draw, we're going to throw it down to ice level. Our on-ice reporter, Jason Chang, going to let us know what's going on the other sheets.
Thanks very much, Rebecca. And we have a final on your features sheet, but we've still got 3 great sheets of curling action happening on sheets A, B, and D. Let's take a check in on the scores. On sheet A, Corey Hegestead has just stolen a big 3 points on Team Harris. He leads 7-4. They're now playing in the 9th end. On sheet B, Wayne Tuck taking a big steal of 2 in the 8th end. He's up 9-6 over Ballsden. They're playing the 10th Tuck with the hammer. And finally, on sheet D, Sherry Madaw has stolen a single point in the 9th end and tied up the game against Allison Flaxey. They're tied 7-7. We've had some great fans out here this morning. A lot of young fans just heading out, going back towards the school for lunch. They were from the St. Mary's Grafton and the St. Mary's Secondary School, some 10 and 12-year-olds. They've been learning about curling in their phys ed program, enjoying the day today. And also thanks to our fans joining us online at titlesportslive.ca. We're being streamed from 3 continents and 9 different countries. In the US, in the UK, Germany, Norway, in Qatar, China, and New Zealand. A big shout out to Cheryl McLeod, originally from Guelph, Ontario. She's tuning in from work in Germany, so that's fantastic, enjoying the action. So from the ice to your device, until later this afternoon, let's go back to the booth with Ian and Rebecca.
Well, thank you, Jason. Well, that's a heck of a game, Rebecca. Obviously, 2 key turning points in that game. Obviously, Rachel making her last shot in the first end to score a huge 4 points. That sort of blew the game open right from the start. And then I think in the 8th end, Julie Tippin had the opportunity to make a shot, draw it in there, and lay 2 points. She ended up throwing it through the rings, gave Rachel the open hit for the single point. And those would, in my mind, would probably be the 2 key turning points.
I think you're absolutely right, Ian. That 4 points in the first end really set the tone for this game. Team Homan dominating a lot of the ends of play here in this game. Like you said, Team Tippin did have some opportunities, really fought hard trying to come back after that first end, but couldn't quite pull it off. So they're going to drop another loss here, go down to 1-2, and Team Homan's going to advance to 2-1.
Yeah, I think we all expect to see Rachel here towards the end of the week. They're such a strong team and a powerhouse right through the lineup that it's going to be difficult for all these people, all these other teams to beat her. But good showing. Obviously, I think some learning points there for Julie and her team. They'll go back and they'll learn from that and take it into their next game. Obviously, our leads up to our next games coming up this afternoon. At 2:30 this afternoon, we're going to be bringing you Heather Hegestead up against Megan Balston with our pregame at 2:20 this afternoon. And this evening tonight, we're going to actually switch gears and move over a sheet here, and we're going to bring you Rachel Homan versus Sherry Madad this evening, because that's going to be another key matchup. Our pregame will start at 7:20 tonight, and game time at 7:30. So from all of us here at TSL in Cobourg, Ontario, on behalf of our crew, Rachel, Jason, and myself, we thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you later on this afternoon.